Everybody, this is James Durbin of Durbin, and you are watching CMS TV.
It's Dirty Looks right here on your classic metal show, featuring Austin Guard on lead vocal there with Turn of the Screw. And this is Neely along with my very good friend and partner Chris Aiken, and a guy who can turn the screw pretty hard, our good friend Jericho Green. Welcome back to the show there, Jericho.
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Well, Happy New Year, Jericho. It's
Happy New Year.
It's the
Happy Lunar New Year.
It's the first show of the new year that we've had you on, and look forward to many times collaborating with you here in the next year for various reasons. And I'm glad you could make the show tonight.
Of course, man. You guys know you put the bat signal up, I'll be here. I love it. You guys been down with me for a long time, so anytime. I'm glad to be back.
Sure.
And what an interesting topic we have for today.
Yeah, well, we actually got a few topics to get to before we get to the actual main course.
The main event. Okay.
But there's been a lot going on, a lot of upheaval in our country, unfortunately, in the world, and I know that you have a lot of definite thoughts and opinions on it. But before we get to that, it's been since the fall last year that we had John last, and I know you often admire my gun collection. So I wanted to show you the latest purchase that I had that you have not seen since you were on last, and maybe you might have some thoughts on this. So I want to present to you, Jericho Green, the CMMG MK47. It is a AR-15 platform that shoots AK-47 rounds.
Okay, so 7.62.
Correct.
Yeah, that's no bullshit right there. That's no bullshit. I had the pleasure of shooting an AK, and it was something else. I recommend it for everybody. But that's nice. I like the magazine on it.
Yep, it's got the rock and lock, like the AK, but it's got the AR lower. And so, yeah, this is the Mutant.
Nice.
So
she pretty.
CMMG Banshee Mutant.
Have you shot her yet?
I have not. I was going to do it over the holiday, but I have not had a chance yet. But I thought maybe you'd appreciate a fine piece of weaponry like that.
I do. I do. Very nice.
As you sometimes give us a shout out on your show and, make mention that both Chris and I live in a free state where we can own such fine armament with no issue.
Hey, let me tell you, speaking of that, headline that I saw today, it said LAPD raids Army veterans' apartment and finds firearms. I didn't know that was headline worthy, but it had, of course, it had a picture of him like out hunting or something, holding his rifle with a smile on his face, and filtered through the eyes of a lost Californian. That guy is an evil, toxic male. But it was like, that's it. It didn't say illegal firearms or anything. It just says LAPD, Army, and you had to throw Army veteran in there. Military, boo, men, boo. But they found firearms in his apartment.
What?
So, wow. What a headline. So that's where I'm living.
Oh my God. You know what? I'll bet you they also found some war clothing there too.
No. Did they find ammunition too?
Terrible.
Golly.
They also found some knives and some what do you call those cutter things?
Oh, found some knives and maybe a couple ninja stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you could turn a vagina into a landmass, that would be California.
Right.
And not a pretty one either. It's the one that's seen some hard times.
Well, I don't know why you guys are ragging so hard on the government. I saw our great president put out just yesterday that the economy is better than ever, 560,000 new jobs, lowest unemployment rate in the last 30 years, or some stupid statement like that. I was like, wow, we are doing fantastic.
Wow. Well, you know the saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But sometimes it's who says it. And if it comes out of his mouth or from his Twitter page, you have to know that it's a bunch of bullshit, because I don't know how he's getting those numbers so quickly, but that America that he's talking about has not filtered down to us yet.
Well, I know this. Every time I go driving through my little town, and it's not a big city, but every time I go through there, every goddamn business has a help wanted sign up. So
yep.
Apparently we may have the lowest unemployment known to man, but we have the most jobs available ever.
Yeah, it hasn't reached the people yet. I don't know what he's talking about. I was in the store today, $8.90 or $8.56 for a dozen eggs, a dozen brown eggs, a dozen brown organic eggs. So if you want to get eggs that are healthy for you, you're going to pay almost $9 a dozen.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. It's the best economy ever.
That seems sustainable.
Yeah, look at that. There you go.
Holy
As of
hell.
this month, we've created 12 million new jobs, the strongest 2 years of growth in history by a long shot, with 3.4% unemployment.
Where? What industry has he created these 12 million jobs in?
The DoorDash industry, apparently.
And if you're in California, you can't even be a freelance anymore. Now you got to start logging hours. You got to get insurance. You can't just put on your Lyft app and start picking people up again. Now you're part of an industry. Now you got to start paying.
Right.
That's good. That's smart.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. But when you jack gas up to $8 a gallon, I guess $5 a gallon sounds pretty good.
Right.
Exactly.
Piece of shit.
Well, staying with the gun topic here, Jericho, I'll start off light, get a little bit heavier. I had sent Chris over an article here just to grab some of the photos, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, but the Florida GOP representative Anna Paulina Luna sports an assault rifle lapel pin, even though there were 6 mass shootings in her state in January.
You fucking bitch. How dare you?
An assault rifle.
How dare she?
They love those words. They love assault rifle. And what was it? A couple weeks ago, I saw a clip of Geraldo, the broken nose by the skinhead Geraldo. He was talking about assault rifles, one of their favorite topics that they know nothing about. And the other host asked him, "Do you know what AR stands for?" He says, "Yeah, assault rifle." Now, immediately you're going to think, what a jackass. No, it doesn't. But it was the confidence and the smugness that he said it with. Well, yeah, assault rifle. That's what it stands for. That just proves that there are a lot of people out there, a lot of people where I think we all have equal access to information with cell phones and whatnot, that they just don't want to. That is not what it stands for. And the Armalite company, I feel bad for them, because they designed a really cool looking platform and a really cool sounding gun, but that is now, for, no pun intended, been weaponized against them. Like it's been made a villain, and that's not even what it means. ARs are awesome. That's not even what it stands for. But you have these people, and there's so many people out there who, if it's repetitious, if you're repetitious, and and you can tug at their heartstring, and it's an emotional topic, you will win. They will do no research. They will do no homework. They won't talk to anybody about it. It's just, this person told me that's what it means, and I'm running with it. And when I'm asked about it, I'm going to say with such confidence the incorrect answer.
Yep. Well, at least 3 Republican lawmakers in the House have been sporting tiny assault rifle pins on their lapels amid the alarming series of mass shootings, and critics are exploding.
Really?
Wow.
Now, again, people will see that mass shootings, even school shootings. Wow, we've had how many? Kamala got up there and lied and said we've had 40 mass shootings this year so far in less than a month. But a lot of people will just see that and they'll run with it. Mass shootings, school shootings, this country's out of control. The gun violence. I love how they use that words, gun violence. It's the gun that's the source of the violence. So if you get the gun out of there, no one else is going to get shot because it's that damn gun. But it's not. But people are going to see that or hear her say that and think this country's out of control. But if you start looking into it, if some guy goes to his old high school and blows his brains out in the parking lot, which happens, that's considered a school shooting. If it happens close to a school, it's a school shooting. And if they want to get into 40 mass shootings, is she talking about Chicago last weekend? Because if you want to get into mass shootings, we got them for you. But that to them, that's a swastika. That's a Klan hood right there. Really, these people are that fucking stupid.
Well, and not only that, there's like I don't know if you saw this story or not, but there was a girl and her mom and dad, and like the mom and dad, it was like a murder suicide type deal, but the mom and dad both left a note that their time was over as well. So it's like a planned suicide that happened this weekend. They'll count that as a mass shooting because it's 3 people. Mm-hmm. So they'll count that. And meanwhile, they all plan to kill themselves. It was just 3 people taking themselves out of off the planet.
They'll take those numbers and fit it into their mold of whatever they're trying to push. And if you get enough dummies, we've seen them. You've seen the aerial footage of a women's march in Los Angeles with 300,000 people. These dummies are out there. Mm-hmm. And if the message feels good and it fits into what they've been told and it doesn't require any brain exercise or looking up or anything, and they're surrounded with other dummies like that, that's no one's there to push back against that, then it's the truth and they're going to run with it and they're going to shape their lives around that. They're going to shape the kids' lives and eventually shape the community and the city. And that's how people like myself in California get swept up in the bullshit. Every one of those bastards should be wearing one of those. Every one of them should have one in their office. All of us should have one of those. Why doesn't the government give us a stipend every year where let's say it's $1,000 and you could spend it, you could put it toward a new weapon, you could put it toward weapon modifications, you could put it toward classes, but it has to be weapon oriented. Why wouldn't the government make sure its citizens are armed and trained? Shouldn't they see us as a force multiplier? If shit hits the fan, we can depend on our population to arm up. Let's go. We've been training for this, but instead they're doing the opposite, trying to take them away and trying to limit where you can carry them. And
trying to tell you that they're bad.
Yeah, the people are bad. People are shit.
Yeah,
people are the worst thing this planet's ever seen. A gun is not. I've done live streams where I load my gun and I put it on the table next to me and it just won't shoot me.
Yeah, I've had this one.
I call it names, everything.
I've had this one sitting right here for 6 months and it's yet to shoot me. 6 months it's been sitting here and it has not shot me.
It's just biding its time. It's biding its time. It's waiting.
It is.
You better watch out, Neil. You got one in there with you, man.
I know it's right.
This could be the last show.
It's been biting my ankle the whole time. I've just been sitting here, just taking the pain.
Come on now.
Well, anyway, to promote that on the floor of the House is despicable.
Oh, it's terrible.
And it's an insult to all the victims of assault weapons.
But I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guys with the squiggly earpieces, that come out of their shirt and go up to their ear and they go to and fro with these elected officials and their homes or whatever and around the Capitol. What are they carrying?
Slingshots.
Got it. David and Goliath. Putting that, whip it around. Yeah. I'm just wondering because it's funny if these guns are so bad and they're such a threat to us, then as a show of confidence, why don't you have your security give up their guns? I want to see you tell your security, unarm yourself and drop it into, I don't know, a smelt or something. Show me that you're for real. And not that people would, but if you're serious about it, act serious. Take the first step, lead by example. Get rid of your shit. Turn your shit into paper clips, not mine.
Yeah.
You're putting the cart before the damn horse. You put your weapons down. It's like we both have guns pointing at each other. You put your gun down first. I'm not putting mine down first because then you'll be the only one with a fucking gun. I can't trust you. Golly.
Well, Jericho, did you watch January 6th when it was happening? Like when they were actually having the the alleged assault on the Capitol and all that? Were you watching? I mean, I'm asking, did you have it on TV live when it was happening?
I watched it for a little while. Yeah, I was watching it.
Okay.
And it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Did you notice any people that were storming the Capitol with weapons, or was it just the Secret Service that were jumping out with weapons?
Yeah, and the sole person who got killed that day was by somebody who was on, I guess, their side, so to speak.
Yeah.
One of them. And another thing that I saw, which I still can't get a straight answer on, is how is it an insurrection, as they call it? But you had police, those are the guys with the hats and the badges and the guns, right?
I think.
And the uniforms, they were moving barriers out of the way and like directing traffic. If I open my front door and say like this, is that breaking and entering? Are you a burglar if I open the door and wave you inside?
Look, you can still commit a crime with polite people leading the way. Don't you know that?
I do now. Thank God we have this show. I do now. But for them to fix their mouth, and say that that's the worst thing to ever happen to our country, do they
it's
not
not even
know?
the worst thing that happened that year.
Or that day, find me some police reports across these shithole cities for January 6, 2020, when I guarantee you, probably DC had more homicides in it than January 6th. And what how they say that Trump's behind it, because he was the one blowing the dog whistle and mobilizing his troops and putting the battery in their back. So you're telling me a man with his influence, his money, forget the influence, his money, because that's what makes people move. Mm-hmm. So with his money, this is what this Keystone Cop bullshit, the people taking selfies and Nancy, that was it.
Yeah.
And the insurrectionists are the only ones who took a casualty. So that was it. That was his money shot.
Apparently you didn't see the guy with the horns that stole the podium.
Oh, yeah. You guys, I don't know if you guys knew this. I know you guys are smart, but did you know that that's the 11th commandment? Thou shalt not steal podiums.
That's right.
And that guy did that shit. That was a terrible thing. That was probably the worst part, seeing them walk out with furniture. Oh. Oh, and then the lady who was on, I thought you had to be a witness to something to be called a witness. But apparently you could talk to somebody who was there and then get on the witness stand and say that somebody told you what they saw. And then when you get off the witness stand, you can go up and hug one of the people who's on the committee who's supposed to be overseeing all this shit.
Makes sense. No bias there. None.
Cool. I just wanted to bounce that off of you guys. Thank you.
There's no bias. There's no bias at all.
Can you hug a witness?
Of course.
What the fuck?
I'm sure if you look now, it's been a year or so, you might find a house or a car or two that have been purchased at the same time.
Yeah. But I didn't know you could get on the witness stand and talk about things that you weren't there for.
Well, why not? Just make it up. They've made up the narrative. Why can't you make up the witness statement? It's all the same.
It's all improv. We're just making this shit up as we go, man.
That's right.
Golly.
Well, one of your representatives out there, Jimmy Gomez, said that anybody can wear whatever they want to, but you got to have some common decency. Stop wearing that pin.
Yeah, come on. Are you kidding me? I've seen worse things as far as clothing. Forget about what you're wearing. Look at the people who are inside of the clothing. Those monsters, those crooks, those fucking deviants. And you're worried about this pin. It's not real. She's not going to take it off and start shooting people with it. It's just a pin. You're protected. They're protected by that very pin, what that represents every single day. Right. So I don't see the problem with it. I wouldn't have a problem with them, all of them being armed, having guns on their hip, as long as they're trained.
Right.
But on the same token, we all need to be able to walk around with guns on our hips too.
Sure.
And I think
we can here in Indiana and Ohio.
No, everywhere. I mean,
all
50 states. Everybody.
Am I the only one? Am I the only one that looks at state to state and I'm like, okay, I can't understand how I can be in my state. I don't even have to have a license to carry a gun. They passed that beginning of the year. I carry a gun everywhere now, because it's like, fuck, why not?
Why not?
Why take an unnecessary chance? So I carry pretty much everywhere I go, but I better not go to the wrong state to buy a joint, because if I do that, or if I buy a joint in this state, it's wrong. But if I go to the next state, it's right. Yeah. What the fuck? Make the laws universal, whatever they would be.
They did. Those slave owners, they got together and they scribbled on some fucking paper and they took care of all the shit because they knew that times may change and technology is going to change, but people will always be the same. People will always be the same greedy, power hungry, money grubbing bastards they've always been. Exactly. And they knew that shit. But they go out here and create these problems that they've already made a solution to. The Constitution. Well, what about this? Let's go back to the Constitution. I know, but can we do this? Go back to the fucking Constitution. It's all in there. I can carry a gun. Why? Because I don't have to give you a reason.
Yeah.
Because I'm here. I'm a citizen. That's fucking why. Yeah. Why do you care? What are you doing?
Here, tell me if you think I'm wrong on this, Jericho. I think the biggest problem that we have with the gun thing, or one of the biggest, I don't want to say the biggest, because obviously the politicians are all fucking shit. But one of the biggest problems that we have is these nudniks that are speaking on behalf of the gun industry go and say anything other than the truth, which is we're weaponized to protect against a deviant government. They'll say hunting, they'll say sports shows, they'll bring up all the other stuff that you can do with guns, but they open the argument to, well, why do you need an AK to shoot a deer? It's like, no, I don't. I have it to shoot you if you break into my fucking house. Say idiot. What it's for.
Yeah, Biden says, is a deer wearing a Kevlar vest? Dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, what page of the Constitution talks about deer hunting, you dickhead?
And especially after the last 3 years, you damn right we have a tyrannical government. You can't laugh at that anymore.
No.
These last 3 years, there's some shit that we cannot laugh at. We cannot see as conspiracy theory. You damn right I need a fucking gun. And even if I don't need it, I can have it. Because fuck you. Why not? You think I guarantee you all those guys following the president around every day are packing some serious shit that we probably can't get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what are we supposed to do? Come at them with a baseball bat?
Yeah.
If they're trying to take our wives or our kids and fuck them or some shit,
well, they wouldn't do that.
They're good. They're just. Get the fuck out of here with that just bullshit.
Yeah, let me see that fucking Epstein Island list first. Then we'll see who's fucking just.
Well, if you need to know who's on that list, just look at who's complaining the loudest, because it seems like all the loud complainers, the Rob Reiners of the world, they're all on that fucking list.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Fucking perverts.
Yep.
Well, Jericho, I'm sure you're well versed with the whole Tyree Nichols situation. I just wanted to get your viewpoint on that very quickly, because obviously, the brutality that this young man suffered was pretty uncalled for, and the fact that this was perpetrated by 5 black officers, which goes against the narrative that only white police kill black men, and that kind of destroyed the whole narrative for the loony left. But then even with the facts of the case, it's just like, well, racism still was involved, and this is still a victim of white supremacy. So what's your thoughts on this whole situation down there?
Well, you see that they squeezed one white officer out of it.
Yes,
the 6th officer was a white dude. They're like, look, man, we don't got nothing, but one of you motherfuckers, you better pull some straws because one of you gotta go. It was terrible, man, and it was hard to watch. I only watched it once. Because I haven't been desensitized by the internet that much yet. Shit like that, man, where you see videos of like kids get fucked up or like somebody beating an old person. I don't like to see that shit. But for the purposes of what I do, I watched it so I at least know what I'm talking about. But to be honest, man, up until that last video they showed, the footage from the light pole where they were just teeing off on this fucking dude when he was already handcuffed. Everything up until that, I don't really have a problem with. Was the language very abrasive and probably unnecessary? Yeah, but it's just fucking words. He was resisting arrest. He got up and ran. And even when they pulled him out, because unfortunately the footage starts after one officer's already there and he's already been pulled over. But he's saying, all right, guys, you don't need to do this. Okay. But he's not laying on his stomach. He's laying on his side. He's talking to the officers. He's not listening to them. Should this have happened to that man? Of course not. But a combination of those officers and the wrong that they did and him not complying, it made for a terrible situation. I'm sure, we don't know now because it went a different way, but I'm sure that had he complied and cuffed up and they, whatever, let him do it. Let him talk shit. Let him charge you with the wrong shit. Let him fucking search your car, all that shit. We have a thing in this country called recourse. Get names, badges, badge numbers, all that shit. Go down to the police station and do that shit right. The way these fuckers are thirsty for some police brutality and you got some real shit, Ben Crump will be at your house giving you a soapy hand job while you're in the shower. So I think his behavior and those officers, their lack of professionalism and hate and evil, whatever the fuck was in him, man, that was terrible. Once you got a man cuffed, all 5 of those cops could have been fucking defensive linemen. Those dudes were huge.
Yeah.
So they could have easily picked his legs up, laid him on the ground, and whatever, wait for another car, whatever the fuck you're going to do. But to just walk around in circles and just punch this dude in the face like Mike Tyson was insane, and that shit was evil. And those cops deserve whatever they get. Whatever within the letter of the law, let them have it, because there was no reason for that dude to die. And if you don't have self-control, if you lack self-control like that, you need to find something else to do, because that's not for you. You're going to be nothing but pissed off as a cop. People talk crazy to cops. Cops show up to all the bad shit. Nobody calls cops for good stuff. So if you can't handle that and you fly off the handle and shit, or you're having a bad day, you need to fucking check out, because that shouldn't have happened. And that was terrible. That was terrible to see those dudes punching that man in his face until he finally went down, and then making him wait 25 minutes for the EMTs to do something to him. That shit was wrong. The way it was handled, as far as that police chief before that, she's saying, "Oh, this footage is terrible. It's awful. It's inhumane. You should have kept your fucking mouth shut, because now you're messing with people's reaction, and you're almost telling them you're going to be justified in whatever you do once you see this shit." She's almost telling them, they want to talk about dog whistles? That's a dog whistle. You're law enforcement. You fucking right down the middle. You're right down the middle. You watch the footage. So whatever you think, you make up your own mind. I'm not going to tell you, ooh, this shit's bad. That's wrong. But she also she pled guilty to some like kiddie porn shit in 2009. So she was a piece of shit from the beginning. And then the way the media acted. Now we know if those officers were white and he was black, astronauts would be able to see the fires in America from space.
Right.
No bullshit. And would people be justified? Yeah, I don't care how that shit went down. You are not justified to destroy other people's property. You want to riot in your house and fuck your house up and throw your TV out the window and burn your clothes in the front yard? Go ahead, but you can't fuck with other people's property. Even if that was your family member or your father or something, or your best friend, you don't go out and destroy people's property. That's wrong. But like all the other high-profile cases, and this is nothing compared to the Patriot Saint of fentanyl and Breonna Taylor, only because those officers were white. And the Tony Timpa and white guys who get killed by the cops all the time, you don't hear shit. They don't. I think they don't want equality. They want easy. That's what they want. They want to be. They want special treatment. Tony Timpa, he died the same way George Floyd did. This dude was mentally handicapped, and when he was laying there unconscious, dying, the cops were laughing and making jokes about it. And it's all on camera. But you don't see that shit plastered everywhere. You don't see some stupid ass American out there painting Black Lives Matter on the fucking pavement over him. But the way the media hijacked it, Al Sharpton, 2,500 people at his funeral, Kamala Harris, Breonna Taylor's family was there, George Floyd's family was there, Ben Crump was there. Why? How? Who paid for their tickets? Who organized all this shit? Do you think some regular Joe Schmo from Memphis could have walked in that church and sat in the front row? No, this is roped off for the VIPs. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was a funeral. You think his parents and family don't want to mourn in private? And they brought all these, and somebody else, some lady in Houston whose son was killed by the cops. They brought her in to sing a song. If these parents want to get together who've lost children to law enforcement, By all means, you need the comfort. There's nothing worse life can give you than taking
Right.
your child. But to make a spectacle out of it, to make it a fucking media event, Kamala Harris came. You didn't know him. You don't give a shit about him. Al Sharpton don't give a fuck about him.
Right.
I did some research. There were 4 children that were stabbed to death by their mother. They had hundreds of people come to their funeral. And none of them were named Al Sharpton, and none of them were the vice president, and none of them were all these other high-profile cases. They only did that because they had to do something. Because it was out in the media, they had to show up. They don't give a fuck about that, dude. They don't give a fuck about that 6-year-old girl who was shot 6 times in her chest at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
All right. Well, I knew you'd have something to say about that, Jericho. Now let's get to the main event, shall we?
Oh boy.
Well, last Sunday I was just flipping through the channels here, and I saw that brand new on Netflix, a new movie featuring Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill, called You People, and I thought, okay, well, Eddie Murphy, funny guy in the past, maybe he will redeem himself, do something funny. Obviously he hasn't done anything funny in decades. But I know Chris had high hopes for the return of that. What was that?
Coming to America 2. Yeah.
That was just
God
poor.
awful. That was
And
bad.
then Jonah Hill, who's done some funny movies, obviously Super Bad, and he's done some more dramatic roles like War Dogs and things, and he's a good actor, and I've enjoyed him in other things. So I thought, okay, well, here's an old school comedian actor guy collaborating with one of the newer school comedian actor guys. Maybe they'll do something kind of fun or funny or interesting. And boy, was I wrong. I was sitting here, Jericho, watching this movie, You People, and I'm thinking, okay, hopefully this will be a good, funny movie. And it was just a train wreck out of hell. And while I'm watching it, I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking, oh boy, Jericho is just going to have a field day with this movie. So I'm going to get a hold of him, have him watch it. Of course, I told Chris, I said, you got to watch this movie too.
And I did.
Because this is just too painful. And since we all come from various viewpoints, backgrounds, I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to give their thoughts on this awful movie. And just to give everybody a idea what this movie was about, it's basically Jonah Hill is a young guy in his 30s, comes from a Jewish background, white guy, falls in love with a black girl comes from a black Muslim family. And yet they try to make it work in a relationship and meld both families and turn it into a marriage. And it's just, two sides of the spectrum here colliding in the middle. And for lack of a better term, the friction that goes on between the two diverse backgrounds, because isn't that what this country is all about, is diversity and inclusion, is just a train wreck. So I'll let you go ahead, Chris. I'll let you go ahead and give your thoughts on what you watched, since you watched it last night.
All right. Well, I did not know what I was coming into. I really did not know what I was coming into. And I was stunned. And I do mean, and I don't generally use those kind of words like, oh, I was stunned or flabbergasted or, astonished. I don't usually say that kind of stuff. I was absolutely, I think more than stunned, disgusted would be the right word, at the level of just, you want to talk about dog whistling. This was like dog screaming. This thing was just nonstop. White people bad, Jewish people horrible, Muslims are crazy. It was like, you take the stereotype, every stereotype there was, they took it, they multiplied it by 1,000 to make it even more offensive and wrapped it into 2 hours of hell. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I didn't laugh. I don't think I got one laugh. maybe one. I think maybe I laughed a little bit when they burned the kufi. That I think that might have given me a chuckle. But other than that, it was horrible. Eddie Murphy, worst part he's ever played in his life. To me, I thought he was terrible in this movie. He's not good as a tough guy, first of all. That was kind of ironic. This little guy that's 150 pounds trying to be a tough guy. Jonah Hill was terrible. Nothing good. I got nothing good to say. It angered me that this is the portrayal that is out there and is being highlighted as, well, this is how it is between white people and black people. And they really drove it home kind of at the end when they, not the total end, but at the wedding scene where Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy kind of had it out.
Yeah.
And then
dinner.
Yeah, and then right after when they broke up with the daughter and Eddie broke up, and they basically just said, well, if you're a white person, you cannot deal with black people on any level. Mm-hmm. That was the message they put out there. And then even the apology, like there's the apology after it where they try to make nice. The apology was, okay, well, we're still going to do this. We're still going to act like shitheads, but we're doing it out of love. It was the worst. I couldn't believe when I was watching. It was like, okay, so the moral to the story, what we're doing right now should not happen. Jericho, I need to start hating you because I'm white and you're black. So therefore we got to hate each other. And if we do try to get along, it's really just phony anyway. So that was the message that I took away from You People. One of the worst movies, terrible dialogue, and not for nothing, but what the fuck is going on when Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, big stars, big names, and they got that cartoon looking bullshit in between scenes. It looks like they did it on iMovie. What the hell? It was terrible.
Well, I'll run with my thoughts on this. Just the fact, and I'm only going to more or less key in not on the poor storyline and whatever, but the fact that for the last probably the last decade and a half, maybe almost 2 decades, the use of the N-word is a forbidden thing, and that was thrown around so much between Eddie Murphy and his crew and all that. And then, of course, the discussion of how they described Jonah Hill and his family. What's up with that white boy? Who are these white women? Who, it's perfectly fine to do that, but not once did that go the opposite direction. Not once did Jonah Hill's family or anybody say, who are these black people you're involved with? Never once. Not once did that ever go that direction.
See, I think you missed the point, though, Neely. What they were trying to say was that the way Julia Louis-Dreyfus was doing it was dog whistling.
Oh, it was subversive.
Yes, that's what they were saying. What they were really saying is, well, that's what you white people do all the time anyway. You're all racist. That's what they were saying.
But of course, the Jonah Hill character trying to be politically correct and be socially acceptable and show what an open mind he has, and what a good person he is because he's again diverse and inclusive. And as I told you in the text, Jericho, when I asked you to watch this dog shit, is the only thing that redeemable about the whole movie is the fact that Jonah Hill is striking out on his own to be a full-time podcaster, and that's how he's making his living, talking about the culture.
Is that what you do, Jericho? Just asking.
I guess.
But the other thing is that Jonah Hill's podcasting partner,
Mo.
It was a Pat.
Yeah.
Is it a guy? Is it a girl? It's Pat.
So they went with Mo too. That was bad all by itself. They called that thing Mo. I was like, Mo, are you kidding? Really?
So, aside from, throwing every stereotypical trope in there and making, of course, making the white people look inept around black people, and they don't know how to act, and they don't know what to say, and they don't know how to conduct themselves, and they're just uncomfortable, and, they can't have dialogue that's just normal. It's just like, well, I gotta, I don't know how to act around you. And of course, Jonah Hill's sister, she has to be a lesbian too, of course.
Mhm.
Yes.
So all the food groups are represented.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn,
Go
Jared.
ahead, sir.
Guys, we're friends, right?
We are friends.
So, due to the aforementioned friendship, I don't want to say fuck you guys for making me watch this. I'm not going to say that.
You could say it to me because it was my idea.
I'm not going to say that, okay? And I know due to time constraints, we might not be able to get to it all, but I took notes. I don't want to speak right. There we go. I took a whole page of notes. Because I had to get this movie out. No bullshit. This movie made me turn in my couch and look at the window. I turned, one scene came on and I was like, what the fuck is this? It was, look, with Eddie Murphy, the guy who played, I guess her uncle or something, who was going to be the wedding planner. That dude's name is Dion Cole.
Yeah.
Funny stand-up comedian. Mike Epps was her uncle. Funny stand-up comedian.
Mhm.
Like you mentioned, Jonah Hill, comedic actor. He got range. This is going to be good, right? Wrong. David Duchovny, he had this obsession with Exhibit, the rapper Exhibit, throughout the whole movie.
Well, dude, that I'm gonna stop you there just for a second. Is that the perception? I'm asking because I don't know, but is that the perception of every old guy that tries to associate with black people? Is that they pick one name and just stick to it? Because that was what I was kind of thinking they were trying to do was, it's the same as that guy that says, I love rap. I got all the Tupac records. It's like, dude, there's like a million other bands.
I guess that is what they were trying to do. That shit, it was hard to watch, and I watched it in 2 parts, and I hated having to go back and watch the last part. I was like, fuck this movie. There were scenes where this is gonna be funny. This is about to turn funny. As soon as we get down bullshit woke lane, we're gonna make a right on funny. And we never got there. The barbershop scene, that could have been funny. That turned into some woke white boy. Who's that white boy? Who the fuck says that? Nobody said, hey, who's this white boy?
Yeah.
White cuz.
The engagement dinner scene where everybody was standing up saying something, that could have been funny. Because that would have been one of those scenes where they probably didn't have a script. You're talking about stand-up comedians. These guys are going to stand up riff.
Yeah.
It's going to be funny. No, it was 2 black girls stood up and were like, look, you're happy, so we're happy for you. Look all these white folks around here saying this in front of everybody.
Right.
This was some crazy shit. One of the things I hated was his character, Ezra. He was an apologetic fucking weakling. I'm sorry that I'm white. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I'm sorry that I'm white. Oh, white people are so stupid. Oh, I know, right? She was such a fucking overly sensitive crybaby. You don't know my struggle. And you don't know what it's like for me. Like the scene where she goes in to try to get the job. And they say, when did you graduate from Harvard? Maybe we know some of the same people. She was like, oh no, I went to Howard. So white people are so stupid they can't read. They don't know the difference between Howard University and Harvard University.
And by the way, just for point of reference, did you notice that both of those white guys were wearing the Harvard shit on?
Yeah. And the guy goes, oh, Howard University, interesting. And then the cut scene to something else. So later in the movie,
who would say one more quick point? And what was that guy's response about or what was her response? Oh no, it's like Harvard for black people. It's like,
it's a black Harvard. And he goes, oh, interesting.
Yeah, get out of here with that shit.
Later, she's tearing up her fucking presentation. He's like, what are you doing? I'm throwing this away. I didn't get the job, all right? And he's like, hey, here, let me call my cousin so-and-so. He's in the business. Maybe he can get you hooked up. Oh, you think I've been working as hard as I have just for you to make a phone call? Yeah, bitch, that's how the world works.
Exactly.
That's how it works. If you have an
know.
opportunity to skip the line, skip that shit.
I do that with Chris all the time. I come across business opportunities all the time and turn him on to stuff that he capitalizes on.
Yeah, but I'm not a black woman. I'm not offended.
Dude, it was the dumbest shit ever. I'm like, oh, so wait a minute. I can leapfrog all this bullshit and you make a phone call for me? Yeah, please do that. That's how the world works. But she was so offended that this white knight was going to swoop in and save the poor little black girl instead of taking the fucking job. It was, and then look at her lifestyle. Look at her parents. They got money. Look at that wedding they had. Look at the rehearsal dinner they had. Bitch, you don't got no struggles. You're a rich kid.
He's driving a $70,000 Beamer.
Yeah, you're a fucking rich kid. You don't got no struggles.
The struggle.
It was fucking weak. It seemed like there was some funny in there, but it was covered by a wet blanket of woke. Like it just couldn't break through and be funny. Everything that was about to be funny got shit on with some black people. And so you're talking, this is what you mean? Is that what you're saying? Oh no, that's not what I'm saying. Oh no, what I meant was, no, that's what you meant. Right. Like all the white people were just quislings. They were sniveling fucking weaklings who were scared to make black people mad, and black people were like, yeah, that's right, you white motherfucker.
Yeah. They have no idea how to deal with people. He takes Jonah Hill, Ezra takes Eddie Murphy and his mom the first time he meets them to a fucking backdoor chicken shack.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. That's where he takes the parents to meet him for the first time.
And that glazed-faced bitch that was his friend.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? And for them to be best friends and for her to tell him white people and black people can never really be cool. Well, then what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You're my best friend. Then what has this been? Is this all fake? We can never be real with each other. That's what they want people to think. But that shit's not fucking true.
Yeah. Well, and look, even I'm gonna pull out of the race card for a minute, which is hard to do with this movie.
That's real hard to do.
But I'm gonna go to like just a normal person, day, night, all of us card, and talk about even more absurdity. In what fucking world does Dad go to Vegas for the
exactly? I don't want to see that shit.
But then when he sees this guy and all of his friends banging whores, doing coke, and that the guy that's about to marry his precious baby is like the leader of the coke dealing gang, and he all of a sudden is like, then he gets to the rehearsal dinner and goes, I thought that you were exceptional. You're an exceptional person. Mm-hmm. You're not one of those people. Get the fuck out of here. He would have been on his phone telling that girl to run for cover before he got out of the strip club.
Hell yeah.
Of course. He would have
FaceTimed her.
Yeah, from the club.
Yep.
Here's your dumbass boyfriend and all of his friends with a bag of coke.
That was such bullshit. Who the fuck would want to go to their future son-in-law's bachelor party? No, thanks, dude. That shit. How funny could that scene have been? We all love a good Vegas scene. Yeah. We all love a good bachelor party in Vegas scene in a movie, and they fucked it up.
They could, and what would have been the play? The play would have been to have somebody, to have the coke dealer that came up and knew Ezra to also know Eddie Murphy from back in his day.
Yeah,
that would have been the play, and then all of a sudden they could probably bond over their youth.
Well, you can't have that bonding scene when you got to jam all the woke bullshit in there. They got to constantly be at odds, and of course he had to be super black. Name's fucking Muhammad. Shit. Akbar Muhammad.
Akbar Muhammad was his name. And the one guy's like, I don't know Akbar. I only know Woody. He's like, it's Akbar.
Yeah, like, motherfucker, your name's Woody. There's Arab people that are like, dude, come on, Akbar Muhammad. It was so fucking dumb. And I don't know which pissed me off more. The super pro black people that hated white people, or the dumbass, black people, I don't know what to do, fucking white people. That shit was retarded, man. And this should have been funny.
And not only that, but then they also portrayed black women as dopes. the whole scene with the girl with the big tits that had the fucking tattoo on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And she's using all the stupid lingo. Oh, he died. He be my heart. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up with that
shouldn't
shit.
it be on the other side? Like, you don't know the social cues to where you wouldn't say that to somebody that you just fucking met 5 seconds ago.
I met you 5 minutes ago, but I'm going to say you're a dumb fucking piece of shit.
And then the daughter's constantly, oh, I'm so sorry for my mom's being so fucking white right now. She was just she's so white.
Yeah, unlike me, who's not. Meanwhile, she's a goddamn Casper white.
Yeah, and they want you to think that every other person you know is gay. His best friend was gay. The daughter's gay. They're everywhere. Every other person in this world is gay. And anybody who says anything different, you're a phobe or an atheist. This is the world. The world is fucking Los Angeles, which would be horrible if it was.
Yeah.
But this was just, it was fucked at every turn, man.
And the other thing that reminded me of some things that you've said in the past is the way that these the black women in this movie dress. They all dress like whores, all of them.
Yeah, all of them had 3/4 of their fucking titties out.
And Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I love that orange number you're wearing. Shut up.
No mother would say that. If my mom went to my daughter's spa, my wife to be's fucking spa weekend, and she walked up and saw those girls dressed like that, my mom would be like, cover yourself up, have some fucking class. My mom is the person who tells young people that. I've been out with my mom, and she'll tell this random group of teenagers, hey, pull your pants up. Nobody wants to see your ass. I'm like, Mom, warn me before you start chastising the public. My mom, and I'm thinking any mom worth her salt would be like, hey, girls, what the fuck are you doing? Put your tits away. Whores. Is this if it's a spa, are we going out on the strip on Vegas, or are we at a spa? If we're at a spa, put your fucking tits away.
Yeah.
Like any mother would. But that shit was retarded, man. Oh,
the whole movie, I cannot think of one redeeming quality of this whole fucking flick. Not one. I mean, it's 2 hours. It seemed like 10.
It was weird. Like Jonah Hill, he hasn't been presented to us as this hip hop, the culture kind of guy. Yeah. So him playing this character, it was just fucking weird. And the friend, his best friend, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, well, the reason Jonah Hill was portrayed as that is because he wrote it. That's
he wrote this movie?
Jonah Hill wrote. I was watching the credits at the end. Jonah Hill wrote this.
I thought Quentin Tarantino did with all the N-bombs in there. Those shits were everywhere. I was like, "Is Quentin? Where's Quentin?" It was bad, man. It really was.
It was. I just got a text from a friend, and he makes a great point. And I don't even know what you would call this. If you call this white stupidity or just plain stupidity, I'm going to go with just plain stupidity. What was the reference when she said, I made these glasses from recycled Mountain Dew cans? What did that even mean?
I guess she was showing how much she cares about the environment.
Yeah,
is that what that was?
I think that's what it was, is that she's one of these earthers,
Like, who the fuck has glasses like that? Who the fuck is, it's made out of recycled wood. What the fuck? No, they're not. They're made out of glass and made by an 8-year-old Chinese kid like everything else.
And first of all, how much of the environment did you save with like 2 ounces of tin that make up a pair of glasses? You're not helping.
You live in a 10,000 square foot sprawling mansion in the hills.
Yeah.
I'm sure you had to cut down some trees and send some wildlife running for that. And I wish he would have told his dad off better. Maybe it's the lack of class in me, but he told him off, I guess, good, like in a very professional, respectful, articulate way. But he deserved to have some F words in there, and you fucking asshole. Well, the thing was,
he was a bitch. The underarching message is that a white guy has to be a bitch to a strong black man. Did you not think that was the message that they were sending?
Yeah, I agree 100%, but no man should be like that with any other man. Like, treat me with respect, I'll treat you with respect. If not, fuck you. Yeah, and I didn't like how they let their parents break them up.
Yeah.
Like, fuck them. My parents are acting dumb, yours are acting dumb, we'll do our own thing. I'm not gonna, if you're so in love, you're just gonna ditch that shit because your parents are idiots?
Yeah. And they didn't put the blame on themselves. That even at the end, they let the blame rest on the parents. They didn't take any responsibility for, we're 35-year-old people and we can't make a decision for ourselves.
Yeah, we're not talking. These weren't no 20-something right out of college. These are in their 30s, grown-ass people, and they let their parents talk to their fiance like that and act like a fucking idiot and then break up?
Yeah. And not for nothing, but since we're just ranting and raving, why the fuck, if you had the ultimate uncomfortable sexual moment as Jonah Hill did at the beginning where the guy wanted to look at his dick, why is that guy invited to the wedding?
I'm picking that old man up and throwing him over the railing.
Yeah, but he was at the wedding. At the end, he was dancing.
Pervert. Yeah.
At the end, he was dancing. I was like, this guy just asked him to go in the bathroom and look at his dick.
Dude.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then he told his mom about it. Oh, well, he's, what?
Yeah, the mom was just like, oh, yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
And that was my pediatrician? What the fuck?
That's just how he is.
Yeah. He's just old. Those old guys, they love to look at dicks, I guess. I was like, what kind of message was that?
It was tough, man, and I really am pissed about that Vegas scene because it could have been funny. And, Andrew Schultz, there's one of his buddies. He's a woke bitch, but he's another comedian. So why was there no funny in this movie that's chock full of comedians?
Yeah, no, you're there was. I just got another text from a friend that watched it too, and he did point out one part that was kind of funny, and I will give him that. Mike Epps in the car. Or talking to Eddie Murphy about that he got the peeping Tom charge. That was that was pretty good.
You're
that
trying
was
to get
pretty
his child support lowered.
Child support lowered. I mean, complete stereotypical horseshit that all black men have divorces and are
baby mamas and all
baby mamas and don't pay their child support. So I mean, it was a complete stereotypical horseshit. But it was funny when they brought it up. He's like, no, I didn't really commit a crime. I wasn't really peeping.
And he was like, that's not how that shit works, man. You can't get a picture of your wife, your baby mama being a hoe and they make you pay less money. But, with those heavy hitters, I shouldn't have to sift through all that to find, I found a funny moment. Look, I found one. It should be full of them because you're all world-class comedians. And if all else fails, you have Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, the funniest guy arguably ever.
I would agree with that, especially in movies. But what he did to me with Coming to America 2, that will never be forgiven. That movie was fucking horrible. And you had 30 years. It was made in 1988. Yeah. You had 30 years to serve up something good. And this is what you gave me? Just like this, chock full of woke bullshit. All the women are powerful. The men are fucking subjugated. They're fucking, yes, dear. Let me check with my mama. Oh, it was fucking horrible. And that's what you gave me after 30 years.
Yeah, Coming to America, the wife's like, get out. He's like, wait a minute, I'm the fucking king of Zamunda.
Are you kidding me?
Have you leave?
Have you fed the lions right now, woman?
Yeah, go.
No, man, it's the whole thing. And his mom, they go to visit the castle. He's in a room with the whole, the royal penis is clean, your highness, the whole crew of hot chicks. Yeah. And he runs in the other room to his mom. Mama, what do I do? These girls want to have sex with me. What?
Yeah, well.
It was sickening.
Yeah, that movie was awful. Which one's worse, man? This one?
Oh, Coming to America 2 is worse.
Was worse than You People?
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man, because I have a lot more I had a lot more invested in Coming to America. There's memories tied to my childhood. Okay. I'm waiting for this. Yeah, that for sure, man. That was worse. But this was bad. Don't get me wrong. I'll never watch either one of them again. But if I had to choose, I'll choke down this one again. But Coming to America 2, never.
I don't know, man. I got a travesty. I'm with you. Like, I don't own movies. I don't buy movies. I really don't. But I own Coming to America. It's one of my favorite movies.
It's hilarious. I just watched it last weekend. It's fucking hilarious. Hey, your rent's due, motherfucker. And don't pull that falling down the stairs shit either. God. Was that Jake Seinfeld? Remember that guy from back in the day?
From
the workout
Body
dude.
by Jake.
Yeah, he was the cab driver, and he says, "Hey, does Queens have any common parts?" Oh yeah, there's one thing Queens has. It's common.
A lot of common parts.
I used to go when I delivered beer. I'd get to the warehouse at 5 a.m, and at least 2 or 3 days out of the week, I'd walk in the door and go, "Good morning, neighbors!" And every single time, somebody would yell from the back, "Fuck you!" Yes, fuck you too.
I used to do the McDonald's McDougal's thing. I used to do that all the time with people. I'd be like, "They're McDonald's. We're McDowell's."
They have the golden arches, but we have the golden
We have
arch.
the golden arch.
He said they have the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick.
The Big Mick. Yeah, the original is fucking priceless, dude. Or when they go to what's his name, and he's like, I would like to have an apartment that is really normal. And he goes, "Yeah, you can take my apartment. It's real fucked up."
He's like, "I want a place that's very poor." He's like, "Oh yeah, my place. It's real
fucked up.
It's real fucked up."
Yeah, there was none of those moments in Coming to America 2.
That's what I'm used to. I've been eating at the restaurant of Eddie Murphy since 1985, and then all of a sudden you're serving this shit to me?
Yeah, it's been bad honestly since Harlem Nights. I don't think he's done anything good since Harlem Nights, has he? I mean, I guess if you like Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, but that's like
maybe
that's not Eddie Murphy. You know, and what comedians are supposed to be at the vanguard. Comedians are supposed to save us. They're supposed to be the guys pushing the envelope and testing shit out and being cutting edge, saying shit we all think but can't say. And now they're fucking working with them. Now they're more woke than the woke.
Yeah, dude, the guy that gave us 48 Hours, Golden Child,
Beverly Hills
Trading
Cop 1 and 2.
Places.
I don't claim 3. Trading Places, that's a Christmas movie to me.
Yeah, I mean, that guy does not exist anymore. He does not. Instead, he did that. What was the one where he was driving the Sanford and Son truck? What was that?
Oh, my God. That was in like 1997. What the fuck was that?
What was that called? I can't remember what that was.
Oh, man, I remember that movie. That was the guy with the real gravelly voice. Was the same guy who was a bad guy in The Crow.
And Son.
Oh, yeah, that was like 97.
Yeah, that was really bad, too. I forget what that was. I'm looking, and it ain't coming up real quick. Damn it.
What was that movie?
Let me look up Eddie Murphy movies. Now we both got to know.
It was just, man, and a lot of comedians have gone his way. A lot of comedians just become woke bitches, man. They're supposed to save us. You're supposed to keep those fools in check.
Was that
supposed to ridicule them?
Was that Bowfinger?
No, that was 96. That was a Steve Martin.
Metro.
There it was.
That's what it was. Metro.
And Bowfinger, that was with Steve Martin.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, Eddie Murphy, Steve Martin, two different comedians. You know, one's, they're both a lot different than the other.
Yeah.
And then
boy,
that sucked too.
Listen to these movies. This is really bad. I'm going to start from after Coming to America.
No.
So there's like 25 movies here. Let's see how many are good. Harlem Nights. Anything?
Great. Harlem Nights was great.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty good. Another 48 Hours. That was okay. I didn't hate that. Boomerang. Now we're starting to get into.
That was pretty funny. That had David Alan Grier, Martin Lawrence.
Yeah,
he had a nice supporting cast on that one. But we're about to go. We're about to take a dive real quick.
We're about to die here because then comes Beverly Hills Cop 3.
No, thank you. Bad. Horrible.
Then there was this all-time classic, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Horrible.
Nutty Professor. That was all right for kids.
That was good. That was
for
good.
Kids, it was okay.
Yeah. For
then
kids.
Metro.
No thanks.
Mulan. That's a voice thing.
Nope.
Dr. Dolittle.
No, that wasn't good.
Bowfinger. That's
hated that one.
Nutty Professor 2.
No.
Shrek. That was for kids, but okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Dolittle 2.
Definitely. If number 1 wasn't good, number 2 is gonna suck.
What is this? Showtime. I don't even remember this.
That was the one he did with Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Yeah, I don't remember that one. That's why.
And you should remember a movie with Eddie Murphy and Robert De Niro, right?
And I don't remember that.
Terrible.
Well, here comes an all-time classic. I'm sure you loved this one. The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Terrible. I've heard that movie talked about on like shitty movie podcasts before. It's terrible.
It's really bad. I Spy.
That was okay with Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
That was surprisingly good.
I don't think
that
I
one was
saw
okay.
it. I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, Owen Wilson's like a spy, and Eddie Murphy plays a pro boxer.
Right.
It's pretty good.
How about Haunted Mansion?
Never seen it.
Shrek 2?
But again, that's not his project.
No,
like
that's
solely his.
Dreamgirls? I don't remember him being in Dreamgirls.
He played like the manager or something of one of the main character.
Then there was this all-time classic, and if you like this one, Jericho, you're never coming on this show again. Norbit.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Norbit was bad.
That was another one where he was playing like multiple characters.
Right. Meet Dave.
No thanks.
Yeah, that wasn't good. But he's got a lot of Shrek work in here, too. I'm just skipping that.
We know those checks are big like that.
I'm sure. They're all, Disney or whatever? So, Tower Heist?
Nah. It wasn't that good. It was Ben Stiller.
Okay.
Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck's brother. It was all right.
Okay. 1,000 Words?
No.
Mr. Church?
Never seen it.
All right, I'm going to surprise you, and I'm going to like this one, even though I'm thinking you're probably going to hate it. Dolomite Is My Name.
I never seen it.
I liked it. I actually watched it. It's on Netflix, and I watched it. It's terrible. It's like about a 70s sort of pimp guy, but I found it to be kind of funny. You know, it plays off of the old 60s Dolomite stuff, so not bad. Not the worst, but and of course, Coming to America 2.
Golly.
And last but not least, You People.
Coming to America 2 crosses out like 5 other good movies. That was like a black hole for movies. That just sucks a bunch in there, man. That shit was
and You People
awful.
Grabs at least 4 more.
Yeah. Holy hell, man. I mean, you guys are great. I'll always come back here, but please try not to do this to me again.
Well, it was too much of a dog shit sandwich.
I know.
Passed this up, and like I said, just the subject matter and the the whole stereotypical nonsense that this movie injected. I'm watching this and immediately thought of you and go, man, wait till Jericho sees this.
I mean, and they could have taken this whole You People thing, and they could have made this. If they were making fun of the bullshit, it would have been funny. If it was like, more, almost like an airplane kind of just making it look silly, making fun of it. That would have been funny, but you guys are for real with this shit. You guys like that's what you think it's really like. And man, that shit was dumb. I hate how people just allow themselves to be pushed around and be bullied and made fun of. Why? Because you think you owe them something? You think it's the rabbit has the gun now? Fuck that shit. You want equality? Here it is. You respect me, I respect you. You're not going to talk to me all fucked up, and I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I know. Just fucking, white people. I just fucking hate them.
Now, I don't know this guy, but I just looked this up real quick. And I'll be honest, I never watched the show once, but the guy that co-wrote this with Jonah Hill, that wrote You People, is Kenya Barris, who also wrote Blackish. So do you think that's why this movie ended up the way it did?
Oh, that's not it. That's not all. He's also the director for the new Wizard of Oz reboot. Okay. And you know what he said? He said that the Alphabet Soup Group and the Ku Klux Klans will be highlighted in this movie because it needs to reflect the culture. Even though the original Wizard of Oz had no romance or sexuality whatsoever. Even Annie M and Uncle Henry, whatever, they were married. They were the only couple in the movie, and they weren't even like hugging or kissing. She didn't have no romantic interest when she got to Oz or when she was back home. Nobody did. It was just her and her gang trying to get to Oz. That was it. But of course, the new one, the reboot, and I don't know why it needs to be rebooted, is going to have some Ku Klux Klans and Alphabet Soup Group representation. That's what he said. It's one of their favorite words.
Sure.
Represented. So Will I watch that only to review it and shit on it on my channel? Yes, but I won't let my kids watch that shit.
Hell no.
They're just watching the original and that's it.
Right. Well,
Why
I don't know.
fuck with that?
I don't know if you're aware of this, but he was also heavily involved as the screenwriter for Coming to America too.
He's just leaving shitty handprints everywhere.
What a resume. Oh my goodness.
God. So can you imagine what kind of woke bullshit's going to be in that new Wizard of Oz?
Oh.
And why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, we already have the Wiz.
Yeah, the Wiz, that's it. Stop it. That's it. Time out. They shouldn't have made that one. Time out. That's enough. And that was back in 78. It's been years. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because they've shown when they have decades to come up with a remake or a sequel, they fail every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Well, they'll probably rename the new one the Jizz instead of the Wiz.
The Wizard of Jizz. Or Jizz
Right.
Wizard.
Exactly.
The Wizard of Jizz. And Dorothy, I guarantee you, Dorothy is going to be some non-binary bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Tin Man, one of her crew is going to have some kind of fucking issue.
Yeah, it'll be so it'll be like named like Deke or something that doesn't exactly sound like a girl's name or
and fuck, I guarantee you the witch, she's gonna be like white or something, and because they're gonna do the whole real world versus Oz. I guarantee you in the real world, she's gonna be some fucking Trump loving conservative. Oh, they're gonna make her the worst person. What they think.
She have a big old red witch hat.
Yeah, like some white writing on it or something.
Right. It says witch.
Oh my god. They're gonna fuck that movie up. Guaranteed.
All right, Jericho. Well, as always, we appreciate you taking some time and hang out with us and
yes,
bring a few of the ha-has and you know, I appreciate the fact that you suffered through that train wreck of a movie and had some definite thoughts on it. So what do you got coming up in your future here in 2023? You got anything on the horizon that, you know, that you're going to launch, or is it just pretty much, you know, your daily thing, or what's going on with you and your program?
I do have some things coming up. I am redoing my website. And every Wednesday night, 7:00 Pacific Standard Time, myself and two other guys, we review literally scene by scene. We break down action movies from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Nice. And you know, we're all like-minded. We're all dads. We're all not for the bullshit. One of the guys, Gabe, he was a comic book artist for DC, and he left DC because they were doing all the weird shit. And he's drawing a new comic called Truth, Justice, American Way. And I didn't know this, but that's Superman's saying, right? Truth, justice, all the way back to George Reeves on the TV show. Well, now it's Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow. So DC let the copyright expire on Truth, Justice, and American Way. So he picked it up, starting a new comic book series. I don't know if you guys heard of Eric July and the Isom comic book. Like they made like almost $4 million, and it's just on their own. But shit got too woke, shit got too crazy, so he left, started doing his own thing. The other guy, Shant, he was like an art teacher at this university, so we got some animation coming up. I'm going to be doing some voice work. They're obviously doing the artwork, which they're amazing at, and got some shit coming down the pipe. It's going to be informative and fucking hilarious.
Good.
Very good.
Perfect.
So, thank you for giving me a chance to put that out there.
Sure, absolutely. And where can people find you on the web and get your green gear and all your good stuff?
They can do that. Go to any of my videos. I got the link, but mygreengear.com. I'm always coming up with shit. I got neck buddy merch for John Fetterman and that thing he has coming out of his neck. I got Biden sayings and shit. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. So I got that on there. And JerichoGreen.net, of course. YouTube. I'm on locals.com. You hit that link tree, any of my videos, it'll take you to all my platforms.
Great.
But yeah, man, just plugging away. No shortage of content, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I guess. Depends on how you look at it.
Well, we're proud of the success that you've had, and taking the chance that you did, giving up the corporate gig and actually striking out on your own, and having the enthusiasm and bringing new content every day, every week, and it's tough to host a show solo. Chris and I have tried to do that ourselves over the years, and you got to certainly have a skill set to be able to be a solo host. And you do a great job with that. Obviously I tune in periodically to your show when I get a chance and pop in your little chat room there now and again, and so on and so forth. So congratulations on your continued success, and go check out Jericho Green, and check out his live streams and his live shows that he does. And obviously you still do some of your 5, 8, 10-minute little video blurbs that you do when you're kind of moved by a certain event or something that you got to put it out there. And I still check those out as well. So go check out Jericho and support him.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Like as we know, especially guys have been hanging with you for a while. I've been in here probably 3 years.
Yep.
Now you guys invited me on a long time ago, so man, I appreciate it. Every time you guys watch, pop in there. I appreciate it all.
Sure, absolutely. All right, Jericho. We always close out the segment with some tunage. If you got something you want to hear, let me know. What do you think? Well, you got a song you'd like to hear?
Oh man. Do you guys have any Metallica?
Of course.
Yeah, Metallica. The older the better. Anything I say Black Album and before.
Okay.
I'm a fan of. And yeah, fuck this movie. In a nutshell, fuck this movie.
All right. Well, since you called for some old school Metallica, I'll give you a choice. Two of the most classic ones. We got Master of Puppets or For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Oh, For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Right.
Time marches on.
Exactly.
I love that song. Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Perfect. All right, Jericho, we appreciate it as always. So here it is. It's Metallica with For Whom the Bell Tolls, exclusively here. Where, Jericho?
Oh, of course, the Classic Metal Show.
Thanks for checking out this episode of The Classic Metal Show. Get all of our episodes uncensored at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. Join us weekly from 9 p.m. till 3 a.m. Eastern at www.cmsradio.net. Participate in the live chat room at www.chatandkill.com. Once again, thank you for checking out The Classic Metal Show with Neely and Chris. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand